Hello, my name is Linda McAnany and welcome to my show. My guest today is Carrie Tergin. Carrie is the mayor of Jefferson City and she's also the owner of Carrie's Hallmark. And she is a very enthusiastic, knowledgeable person about our community. And I always say to you, I know you're busy, but thank you so much for joining us.
Happy to be here.
Well,
Thank you.
I tell you. And by the way, she keeps the community knowledgeable about what's going on because she does a lot of selfies in all of these locations where she is. And I'm talking about meetings or openings or chamber events or whatever. So, Carrie, thank you for doing that too.
Well, Linda, I think this calls for a selfie with the mayor.
We'll do a selfie.
Let's do
Absolutely.
our own selfie. And then hopefully your viewers then can see that hashtag selfie with the mayor. I just have the most fun with following what's going on here in the city, and people really enjoy saying, oh, I didn't know that opened. I didn't know this was happening.
And she puts it out on Facebook, so everyone does have the opportunity.
And Twitter and Instagram. I'm out there.
If you're not joined with Mayor on Facebook, please ask to be her friend.
Absolutely.
So, okay, we've had a lot going on because you've been at meetings this morning, but certainly one of the subjects that's been very much in the news and the conversation is the riverfront access.
Yes.
What's going on with Adrian Island, or what's the latest, I should say?
Well, we finally have some exciting news to report that the bridge to Adrian's Island is being funded privately. We have a very generous donor in our community, Mrs. B.J. DeLong, who is just...
She is amazing.
Isn't she, though? She's 95 and has been committed to the riverfront for many years, seeing this happen. And she basically said, if it's got to be, it's up to me. And she's absolutely right. And she financially has contributed a significant portion to get this funded. And we're getting ready to start drilling to build this thing now.
And that takes away one of the problems, and that's access.
Yes.
And I mean, takes away, plus the fact it's a great visual piece.
Right.
When you stop and think.
Well, it is, and having the state capitol right there. And so this bridge is going to be a bike and pedestrian bridge. It's going to start at the Capitol between the Senate Garage and the Veterans Memorial.
Okay.
So we want to kind of continue the Veterans theme as you walk on.
Yes. We'll
have the Veterans Walk. Then you'll go over the 8 railroad tracks. That's been our barrier all this time.
I know.
So now we're actually incorporating the railroad by enclosing on the tracks. As you go over the tracks, it's going to be like you're walking through some replica rail cars, and it will be like a museum.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It's going to be incredible
That's
because
wonderful.
we have to cage the area that goes over the tracks. So we're actually going to utilize that. And so it'll be educational and very cool. And then you'll walk down to the riverfront, and it's going to be a beautiful park. And
that's great. Now, is there a timeline?
There is.
For completion?
Yes, and we're actually calling this the Bicentennial Bridge. We had named it that, knowing that the bicentennial is coming up in 2021. So talk about setting a goal. and so it will be completed in time for the bicentennial. So we should have it completed by the end of 2020. So that's just a little over a year. We have selected the builder. So we are really excited. We're moving along.
Speaking of, let's talk about the bicentennial. That is fun. And, you know, I can assure you, all of us thought, oh, it can't be already.
Yes.
But it's happening. And what's going on? What are some of the plans that you can talk about?
It is something I want to make sure is on everyone's radar. So if there's one thing that we take away from this program, I hope that it's everybody getting enthused about the 200th birthday for the state of Missouri. And a lot of us remember in 1976 when we had the bicentennial and people had quarters and different events going on. I remember that as a little girl. Well, we want to now really celebrate and highlight the history of Missouri for the state's bicentennial. There's a statewide bicentennial that's been formed that the governor has assembled, and he has asked me and Senator Ron Richard to be the co-chairs of the statewide commission.
That's exciting.
Very happy about that. And then locally, our Convention and Visitors Bureau and our library have a local committee that is talking about what our local efforts can be. So if you go to Missouri 2021 on their website, Missouri 21 2021.org, you can see all of the things going on. For example, they're having a statewide penny drive for students. They're asking that people save their pennies, and they're going to use that money to save some of the documents that are historical from the beginning times of our state. And there's photography contest, there's quilt blocks that are going to be from every county in Missouri that will be put together. There are just numerous things that are going to happen for the Bicentennial.
That's great. Now, will the beginning of the year be the breaking of the Bicentennial? I mean, will that, everything start at the beginning of the year, or how are we going to do that from a time standpoint?
Yes, we're looking to celebrate the entire year, and so there will be celebrations going on all around the state. And
Starting
of course, being
New Year's,
here, I'm sure there will.
yeah.
We'll probably kick it off then.
Yeah.
And so people can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Missouri 2021 and follow what we're doing, and we'll be planning different events. There's also projects that have been endorsed by the Bicentennial because they're asking every city and county to do a project. Well, ours is the Bicentennial Bridge, so that's exciting that we are one of the endorsed projects. So we anticipate that that will be a centerpiece for the statewide celebrations going on.
And so we're talking about not just an official celebration in the city of Jefferson. We're talking about statewide.
Yes.
Every community
Yes.
can have a piece of this fun.
Yes, we want everybody to create a lasting legacy for the Bicentennial that can be used for education and that will carry on to the future, that we can all look back and remember the state's Bicentennial and what we did for it. It's a great opportunity for everyone that's watching, for your families, for students, for children, for adults, to learn about the history of Missouri and to travel around and see some of these Bicentennial destinations that you'll find throughout the state. So we think it's going to be a great 200th birthday party. We want to invite everyone to the celebration, and even though it's still 2019, we have a couple of years, it's the planning is really starting now, getting into high gear. You've seen the Bicentennial license plates.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
so
they're on the road.
They're on the road. So we're excited to highlight the state of Missouri, and it's great that Jefferson City has a big presence throughout this celebration.
Carrie, it's so important that, as you say, people look at the sites and start visualizing what's going to be going on. Mm-hmm. And so let's repeat that site one more time. Missouri2021.org. Okay, and you can stay in touch with what's going on, not only in our community, but throughout the state. And if you have family or friends in other parts of the state, encourage them to look at that site and kind of keep up with the activities.
Absolutely.
That's fun.
Yes, it is.
We talked a lot about things that are going on in our community. Capitol Avenue, as an example, mm-hmm. has been a very important subject, and a lot of plans being made. Kind of bring us up to date with Capitol Avenue.
Well, there's great news to report there that we are starting to see some revitalization of the homes. We saw mm-hmm. last year the city and county partnered together to do the streetscape improvements. So we have the new street lights, and it's just a fantastic area. Well, now the Housing Authority, working with the city, has acquired some of those homes that are in really desperate need of repair.
Right.
Some are almost to the point where they will have to be taken down. We hope they don't. Our goal is that they can all be, or most of them at least, be saved and revitalized. Mm-hmm. So to go through that process, the city has had to do the eminent domain process, working with the Housing Authority, and I'm happy to report that the first few properties have been acquired. In fact, your listeners can go to the Housing Authority's website and they can see pictures of the inside of some of the homes that are currently up for bid. And so people can submit bids for the properties if they're interested, and then the Housing Authority will select a final developer, and then those homes will start to become revitalized, which is really irreplaceable history. Some
absolutely.
of the homes, the Parsons home on Capitol Avenue at Jackson Street there has ties back to Thomas Jefferson and some of his people that worked with him. It's interesting history and architecture that really cannot be replaced. So we're very, very pleased to see that process starting. And so now we have the first batch of homes. Now they're working on, I believe, the next 7 homes.
Okay, so, and that street streetscape is what, 4 or 5 or 6 blocks long?
At
is it now?
least, yes. It's about that. It goes to about Lafayette.
Okay.
So
Starts
it's
at the
significant.
Capitol and goes all the
Yes.
way to Lafayette.
Right. So we're happy to see that moving forward.
You know, and the one nice thing about that community, and I will call that another piece of our community, is it does have wonderful history. It is a beautiful location, and the view of the Capitol, I know I stood at one end, which would have been on Lafayette, and looking up the street towards the Capitol. It's a beautiful view. So if you've not had the opportunity to go down on Capitol Avenue, and I think most of you have, but please consider going down there and just looking and enjoying, and also see the progress that's being made.
Yes, we're
And
very
by the
happy
way, I
about
think
it.
it's important, anytime you have a question about our city, just pick up the phone and call 634-6304, or you can visit their website, which is www.jeffersoncitymode.gov. A lot of real good information out on the website, and again, if you have questions about what's going on in our city, you can call the city and get some good information. So.
Yes.
Now, I also know that you have been working on one of the meetings that you were with earlier today.
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit.
That is very exciting. So the Steamboat Arabia Museum is looking for a new home, and we really need to keep that in Missouri, and the perfect place for it would be right here in Jefferson City.
Okay, I'll tell you what, I know this is going to be exciting information, and I want to give you as much time as we can to talk about it.
Yes.
So we're going to take a break right now, and when we come back, we're going to continue this another opportunity for our community, as if we don't have enough. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jessica Ash Schulte with Dreams to Reality. Dreams to Reality is a not-for-profit agency in Jefferson City serving women across mid-Missouri. Our mission is to help low-income women meet their employment goals and build self-confidence by providing appropriate interview and business apparel, motivation, and follow-up support. We serve clients referred to us by many local agencies, and all services are free of charge. Not only do we provide appropriate interview and work attire for women seeking and retaining employment, but we also provide a more comprehensive personal image consultation to ensure clients are ready and confident as they strive to meet their employment goals. Dreams to Reality helps women enhance their potential to be gainfully employed and achieve self-sufficiency to support themselves and their families. For more information about our services or to see how you can support our mission, visit our website or like us on Facebook. Dreams to Reality is proud to be a United Way partner agency.
Hi, I'm Debbie Hamler with the Special Learning Center, one of the local United Way of Central Missouri member agencies. The mission of the Special Learning Center is to provide comprehensive early intervention services to children with special needs so they may attain their maximum potential. We serve over 500 children a year through our Special Learning Center, center-based program, our outreach therapy program, Crayon Kids, our licensed child care program for children with and without disabilities, and our Capable Kids and Family program. We provide services for the Missouri First Steps program by providing occupational, physical, and speech therapy, as well as special instruction in the child's natural environment. Our staff believe in sensory-based therapies, and we also use a total communication approach for language development. We've served children from 20 public school districts and 11 counties. We're a license plate partner with the Children's Trust Fund, so get your personalized plate today. We receive funding through Cole County Special Services, our Senate Bill 40 board. Our Special Learning Center Foundation provides financial support to our programs on a yearly basis, and we rely heavily on the generosity of our community through donations and fundraiser support. Grants of various kinds support our programs each year. You can find our website at www.speciallearningcenter.com for current activities, and we're also on Facebook under the Special Learning Center. We try to be a resource for people with disabilities in our community. If you have questions or a need, call us at 634-3070 and we will help.
Welcome back and thanks for joining us. My guest is Carrie Tergin. She is our wonderful mayor of Jefferson City, in addition to being the owner of Carrie's Hallmark downtown. And Carrie, we've been talking about so many things already that are going on, but this latest opportunity of a meeting that you held earlier, we were just about to talk about. Tell our audience everything that's going on with that.
Well, this is an amazing opportunity like nothing we've ever seen here for economic growth and development, is to have a Steamboat museum right here in Jefferson City. So we're currently working on that and what it would take to have that locate here. And of course, there's currently, a lot of people have probably already seen the Steamboat Arabia Museum in Kansas City.
Yes.
And as we know, their lease is up, and so they're looking for a new location. And we definitely want to keep them in Missouri. There are other states that are also very interested, as you can imagine, but our goal is to keep them in Missouri, and it would be even better to have them right here in Jefferson City. There's the state surplus property area right near the prison redevelopment area, which would just be a perfect place. And when you really think about the river and the steamboats and the history that's right there on our river and all that's happened on the river, this would be perfect.
Plus the fact it's in the center of the state, which gives everyone the opportunity to come from all points, not only points in Missouri, but points in the Midwest.
Absolutely. It is a great opportunity that they could really highlight the artifacts and the museum. In fact, speaking of artifacts, there is a steamboat that sunk in Malta. So you probably heard Malta Bend.
Yes.
Well, the steamboat Malta sunk near Malta Bend. That's what the city is named for. And they've drilled down and actually believe the boat is intact, and they've taken samples up. And interestingly, these samples are just as they were when it sank because they've been perfectly preserved. And so they want to lift that steamboat and bring it here if we get the museum. Now, first they need a museum before they can do any of that. So our goal is that that happens here in Jefferson City.
Approximately how many years ago was that sunk? Do you have any idea?
I don't remember exactly when, but I know that what they would like to do with this particular museum is have all the different eras of steamboats, and so that you could see from all the different decades and years, that because so many of them have sank and there are so many artifacts, but we don't really have anywhere that really highlights all of that. And the history and education and tourism and economic development that could come from this would be significant, and it would be perfect to have it here. So right now we're working with the state. We are hoping that our state legislators also see the value in locating it in Jefferson City and keeping it in the state of Missouri, and what a benefit it would be to have it here.
And you know, we are recognized by so many things in our state, and a few that are not located in our state. You and Senator Kehoe just recently went to Hawaii.
Yes, we did.
And you had the opportunity to be on the United States USS Missouri. Tell us about that.
That was an incredible experience. And so the USS Missouri battleship celebrated 75 years. And for us to be able to go there and show support in person was really incredible. Lieutenant Governor Kehoe and his wife made the trip, and I came along with them, and as the mayor of the city of Jefferson was there to show support. And Lieutenant Governor Kehoe gave a speech. I really highly encourage you to watch the speech. You can go on the USS Missouri's Facebook page. So go to the Battleship Missouri Facebook page and you can see the entire speech, and it really brings tears to your eyes to think of the history and the role that the Missouri played throughout the wars and throughout history, and the significance in that it was the place where the treaty was signed to end World War II. And so we got to see the very spot where that happened, and it's a living museum. It's incredible. And what's so cool is to see Missouri everywhere.
That's
the state seal and Missouri everywhere. Very unique.
And you know, I've been fortunate to have been on the USS Missouri. And right off of the front of the ship, the image that you see as you look off the bow is an important history image of the bombing of Pearl Harbor. And,
Absolutely.
And it is just a wonderful experience, but a very moving experience as well.
It is.
And by the way, Senator Kehoe, as I call him, who is no longer a senator, I'll hear about that from my son. I call him my son. He's a wonderful friend. He and Claudia are wonderful.
Well, Lieutenant Governor Kehoe is such an advocate for our veterans. We are so fortunate to have him in that role and to see him in action there with all of the U.S. military was truly something to see and be part of that. And in fact, what was really neat about this is we also have the USS Missouri and the USS Jefferson City submarines there.
That's right.
And they all happened to be in Pearl Harbor at the time. The USS Missouri was in dry dock and the Jefferson City was there. So we have really gotten to know the sailors. They come here and visit every year. And so now it was our chance to go back and visit them. But making those connections and relationships, because not all states that have submarines continue that bond.
That's
and so
right.
that's something that we are very proud of, our connection. If you ever come to City Hall, or next time you come to City Hall, we have a display case with some memorabilia from the USS Jefferson City. Some people don't even realize that we have a submarine named for our capital city.
Isn't that strange? And you know, it's funny because Sam Bushman, who we all know and appreciate, he's very supportive as well.
Yes.
Of the submarine and has some documentation as well. And you know, I just think sometimes we just take things like this for granted. We don't realize that not everyone is this fortunate to have what we have.
Right. And so we also maintain our relationship with the submarine through a city commission. We have the USS Jefferson City Submarine Commission, and it's volunteers that just are really passionate about this. And we meet often and get together and talk about what we can do for the submarine. And that is just one of many boards and commissions that we have at the city. And we can't do it without the help of volunteers. We're always looking for volunteers to serve. So no matter what your interest may be, you can go on the website that you referenced earlier to the city and fill out a volunteer profile form, or come to City Hall and get one and fill it out and put your preferences of what boards and commissions you might be interested in serving.
And I encourage you to do that.
Yes.
Because being a volunteer for our community is a wonderful experience, but you learn a lot as well. And you'll be able to give some information from your perspective. Now, I know you have certain initiatives that you have been very involved with.
Yes.
Buckle Up, Phone Down update. I love that one. But there's a
Yes.
couple more too.
Yes, there is. And of course, there's several right now. And the Buckle Up, Phone Down is something we're very, very strong about. Unfortunately, the legislature still has not enacted an all-driver texting ban. So in the state of Missouri, we don't have that. So we need to rely on us getting the word out of how important that is to not text and drive and to wear your seatbelt every time. So that is definitely very passionate about. And then, you know, a few other things that we can touch on. One is the empty, clean, dry, because you hear a lot about recyclables, and we're fortunate to have single stream recycling available to city residents. But with the amount of contamination nationwide, it's really become a challenge.
That's
yes.
right.
So
Very much
people
so.
might think, oh, it's recyclable, I can just throw it in there. Well, you have to rinse it out. It's not recyclable if the food is still in the plastic ketchup bottle. So empty, clean, dry is something we'd like everybody to think about before they toss into the recycle bin. And then another one that's really life-changing, that is something I have to say I didn't believe, but the fire department has said how important it is that we close our doors when we go to sleep at night. And I thought, no, I want my door open. I want to hear what's going on. If the fire alarm goes off, I want to hear it. And now they have a big initiative, and it's called Close Before You Doze. Please look it up. There's numerous videos that our fire department has put out that show the difference between a closed door and an open door. And when the door is closed, it keeps some of the smoke and the gases that can overcome you before you even have a chance to hear the smoke alarm. So make sure you have working smoke detectors, but it's very important to close your door. And I never did before this until I watched the video, and I will say you should always listen to the Jefferson City Fire Department because they know what they're talking about.
They do.
Yes.
You know, and I when we mentioned that, I thought, what does that mean? But you're absolutely right. The chances of contamination from, as you say, from smoke or gases or whatever are lessened if you do have something, a barrier between you. And
Well, you may
those.
have less than 2 minutes to get out, and if you don't have the closed door to keep that out, you may not have a chance to even get your bearings in the middle of the night. So it's important that people watch the video. That really convinced me to watch, and certainly is something that's why I think it's important to spread the word, because not everybody is aware. And so spreading the initiatives that our fire department and our police department as well, we've got excellent public safety here in the city of
Well, and I
Jefferson.
also think it's so important that we do reduce contamination as we recycle. And you know, we're very fortunate in our community to have that recycling program. And I encourage everyone to utilize the recycle opportunity and do it properly. And if you're not sure, you can look up, all the information is out there.
Yes, and we have some upcoming events. The air show that was in
that's right.
Columbia, they had to move that. We're very lucky to have it now in Jefferson City. So Memorial Day weekend, there's going to be lots of events going on here. So as we get closer to that, I'm sure you'll highlight some of those events. We'll have it right here at the Jefferson City Airport.
And you know what? I have a feeling we're going to be on here again because there's so much going on. We don't have enough time to talk all about it. So, Carrie, thank you for what you do. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you for supporting our community as you do.
Oh,
God bless
appreciate
you.
that. God bless you too.
We look forward to seeing you next time. Good night and God bless.